Christina here for Card Player TV for another edition of Strategy. I've got Greg Mueller here. Thanks so much for coming.
My pleasure.
We're going to talk about race sizes pre-flop. So Greg, when you're in a tournament and no one has come into the pot yet, no limps, what are you going for? 2.5x, 3x? What's your kind of strategy pre-flop?
Yeah, typically I like to play small pot poker and make small raises. You know, if a lot of people are calling behind, I might increase my raise size a little bit if I'm trying to thin the field out a bit. You know, it just depends what I'm trying to accomplish. So
A couple of years ago, everyone was saying 3 to 4 times the big blind. Why do you think it's kind of changed?
Well, I just think the game's changing a bit, and people want to try and put more skill and less luck in. So the smaller the pot is, you know, the more zigging you can do, the more folding you can do. If you're basically committed pre-flop, now it's just all-in call on the flop, and I think people want to play more poker. So the less chips that go in pre and on the flop gives people room to 3 and 4 bet after the hand's being played.
Okay. How do you adjust with the number of limpers that are in the pot before you?
Well, like I said, I mean, it all depends on how the flow is going, how many chips you have. If you just want to build a pot, or if you want to take it down right there, or, you know, if you want people to think you're weak, or if you want them to think you're strong. I think it really depends on a number of variables. And so, for example, if there's 4 limpers and you want to just take it down with ace king, you might make a bigger raise. If you're willing to play a flop and you know you have like 10 jack suited or something, you might just build a pot, make a smaller raise, and you know. So I think you can't always say exactly the number you're going to make it.
Later in the tournament, when there's a smaller stack to pot ratio, is it ever right to min raise pre-flop?
Sure. I mean, it depends. It always depends on the scenario. For myself, anyways, I don't have this X and M's and 8 big BBs and all the stuff these guys talk about. I don't even know what it means, to be honest with you. I just look at the scenario. Whose blind is it? Does this guy fold? If you're playing against a real tight blind that's capable of folding and you're short stacked and you just don't want to risk all your chips, you can make a small raise to get the info. So maybe a min raise to win all that money in the middle is correct. You know, if you're playing against a maniac that's just going to put you to the test, then you want to maybe let him know you're committed and you might make a bigger raise.
Okay, that's a really good point. So, like, let's say a player in the big blind who likes to see a lot of flops and you have a good hand, then you're going to raise it bigger because you know that he'll call and get some more chips in the pot?
Yeah, exactly. If I know he's going to call pretty much, you know, anything, I'm going to make it a bigger than normal raise, build a pot, and let him, you know, now maybe if he flops top pair, he's going to come along for the ride, and now I'm going to win a bigger pot. So exactly like you said, you know, it depends on who's in the blind and how the table flow is going.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Christina with Greg Mueller for Card Player TV.